Okay, let's start changing this belt on this Landice L7. So I think I said earlier, Landice is an aluminum frame, and they're kind of particular about things, so you're best off to do everything the way they want it. I have the treadmill up in the air. Two reasons. It was easier to get to the screw, and it was easier for you to be able to see me. All right, so you have to remove this. This is all one solid piece, and then this is going to be all one solid piece. So the first thing we're going to do, and I'm not going to bore you for the whole thing, I will put you on hold, but I like to do everything by hand, except for maybe their rear roller adjustment bolts, which are a little different also. They're 9/16 or 14 millimeter, or most of them are just a simple little Allen key. Now, as you've seen in a lot of my other videos, I usually don't bother to count because I mark where the rear roller sits. Well, on Landice, you can't do that. You can't really see it too much. So you have to remove this, and then this little bracket right here is also the mount for the rear adjustment bolt, all right? So since I've already committed to that, we're just gonna take that little insert piece out, all right? Then, as much as it kills me not to use my impact, just because everything, I guess they would like to call it perfectly done, it's definitely precise, that's for sure. So you would think you'd better get your end cap here, but you cannot, all right? The end cap is bolted in with the rear roller adjustment bolt. So hold on, I'll get back to you in 1 second. You don't need to watch me take the other side off. All right, so we got the 4 little Phillip head screws removed from the back. Haven't done anything with the rear roller yet, because I want to see if I can remove this side rail and expose where the rear roller is. I don't do enough of these Landice to know. So I am violating my terms just a little bit. I'm using my drill, taking my chance. If anything's hard, I will do that by hand. But a lot of these, come on, oh good. Landice machines are pretty well made. So the screws are usually removable. I just don't like doing the ones that go into the aluminum frame because they're a little small. I think a number 8 or number 10 machine screw, and there's not a lot of room for error on something like that. But I think, as you guys know, can't stand working forever. So I did notice right off the bat, these outside screws are going to be longer versus the inside screw. So kind of keep an eye on that. All right, so they're all removing pretty easy. Very easy. So this will come up. And I think that'll give us some access. I was going to remove this rear cap. So before you move the rear cap, remove the side rail. And then you could mark where your rear roller is. Next, we're going to try and remove all these little cushions. Make sure you put everything back with Landice. So I'm going to remove the right side now. You don't really need to see me to do that. Then I'm going to mark the rear roller, and we'll kind of pick it back up from there. And I'm going to vacuum it. You don't really need to see me do that either. All right, so the next step is I'm going to remove this rear roller. These are little end caps and pieces. Look like there's a lot of pressure on them. So I'm not sure if removing the side first, just so I can mark it, would matter. So just to be on the safe side, I'm going to have to actually count 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, see, all this is connected to that rail. So I would count the amount of turns. I can't possibly do that though. That's gonna kill me time-wise. So you should be more careful than me and count the amount of turns. I don't see my little impact piece. Hang on, you don't need to watch me hunt for tools. All right, so I got my impact. Just because it's gonna drive me crazy to take too long. But unless you're familiar or very mechanical inclined, I probably wouldn't do this. I would just do them by hand. Okay. And the other thing I will say is everything with Landice is heavy, 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 heavy. All right. So we're going to take that rear roller out now. The front roller is installed a little differently than other treadmills you've seen me work on. So I need to remove that to give you a little slack to actually remove it. All right. So let me reposition the camera up front here, and I'll show you what I mean by the front roller is a little different too. All right. One sec. Okay. So here we are at the front roller. It doesn't sit in a bracket or a bucket like most machines. For whatever reason, Landice claims they crafting the world's finest treadmill, so I'm not about to argue with anything that they say. So the rear roller holding bolt goes through the frame and directly into the front roller. Front roller holding bolt goes directly through the frame and into the roller. Not as sensitive as the screws that go into the hood, because the roller is probably stainless steel. But as you can see, there's no adjustment, but you'll be able to see the marks where you remove the screw and a little bit of space on the back side of it, just to give you a general idea. And I forgot to mention earlier, Landice recommends that you incline the machine, because the motor is actually mounted on a foam sponge, and it has a J bracket that kind of puts tension on it. All right, I can normally do this without messing with the J bracket, but that's the way they like it, so I have it inclined. All right, so we're just gonna remove these screws right here. Alright, so there's our two front roller screws. We're going to pull that up, and again, remember, everything with Landice is heavy, okay? And you can see how their motor, it doesn't quite float, but it kind of floats. So you have to be careful on your tensions. You don't want to put too much tension on it. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's heavy, heavy, heavy. All right, so, yep, you can still see me. The next thing I want to make sure I remind you of, you'll see these little felt cushions. I like to keep, well, you have to keep track of them, but I like to put them right corresponding with where they went. So, just in case there's any wear on anything, the wear is even. All right. So I'm going to skip the rest of this because it's just moving these cushions. Now that I got the front roller out, the rear roller comes out really easy. There's no effort in that at all. So now we're down to flipping the deck over and changing the walk belt. Landice machines, I don't know if this is all of them, but it's quite a bit of them as far as I know. Have a two-sided deck. And how you can tell that is the other side of the deck will have a wax coating on it. All right, so let me take the, well, I guess you're here to see, right? The purpose of the videos. Yeah. This is the wax coating. Can you see that? Is my camera? The camera's not at a good angle to see that. There you go. We'll move the belt out the way. So you got to flip over the belt guides. We'll do that in a second. Here's the wax. This belt is completely ruined. So it's a good thing. So hold on for 1 second while we flip over the belt guides, okay? So here are the belt guides. We're going to remove these and flip them over to the other side. And if I remember correctly, the holes are pre-drilled. Again, Landice is pretty precise. So I actually forgot to check it. I kind of looked at it as you saw earlier. But we'll see. Alright, so just going to show you one of these and then I'm going to skip you to the next part. This is now going to be the bottom of the deck. I don't know if you can tell, but this deck is very worn. So all this needed to be done. Did I mention everything with Landice is heavy? It's just heavy. Alright, so I guess that means heavy duty, huh? So there's the L bracket or belt guides. There's the other belt guide. So I'm just going to do one screw. All right, hang on for 1 second. Do the other ones exactly like that. All right, so we got the belt guides flipped over. Had to vacuum out the machine. Usually, since there's no support bars because their deck's super thick, you can just kind of slip the belt on. Like so. Like so. And like so. Alright, you just want to remember the wax part is now on top. Alright. So one other little minor detail, not really minor. They really heavily wax these support cushions. So let me grab my lube real quick. I'll get in your way. All right, so I'm going to do this side. Then I'll do the other side. But I would imagine this is to keep from having a lot of squeaks. And again, the factory does it, and I've done some of their warranty work. Not a lot, but I know they want it done. So, why shouldn't we do it? Okay. So what I'm greasing are these little white deck support systems. Hold on. Ready? Locate it right here. See that right there? So I'm greasing each one of these. There's 3 on this side and 3 on the other side, okay? Alright, so I'm not going to visually do the other 3 for you because it's going to look identical to doing these 3. So what, nice and greasy. Because actually I think on Landice machines, since these decks don't get bolted down per se, I think they kind of float a little bit. And then the top rail kind of holds them in place. So I think it's very important to lubricate that. And again, I think Landice is particular, and if they want it lube, well, I'm going to go ahead and lubricate it for them. All right. So we're just going to flip this over as best I can. I think I mentioned everything with Landice is heavy. It's heavy. All right, so I'm just going to go over there real quick and put that little lubricant on those little white stands, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so we got the deck flipped over, belts on. That really was just a matter of flopping it in. Don't forget, I already violated my own rule. There's some grease that goes back on here. So lubricate that for these little cushions.
At the beginning of the year last year, I was so sick. Like, I had at least like a month of illness because I was like, I had a fever, and then after my like weird sickness that made me dizzy all the time. Like, the first day of school, I woke up the first day of school. I was walking to Mr. Eske's class for the first day of school, and I almost like passed down the stairs because whatever I had, like, it just made me like so like nauseous.
So I'm gonna have that one little cushion, so I won't put that back yet. Because I don't have it, I guess we'll start with the front roller would be next. Oh, look at that. I knew where that was.
And after that, I had a bad rash from the strep. Oh. After that, it gives me like.
Gosh, their stuff is heavy.
Strep rashes or something.
Yeah, you just can't like get sick.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now I'm used to it. I'm not scared. Knock on wood.
Yeah, there's a door. Knock on that.
Put this down here. And I think I forgot to tell you that this was a 3/8 inch socket for that. I don't think I mentioned it. So this is usually kind of tricky also. So I just like to get it loosely in here. Doesn't care what I like, does it? Maybe what I'll do is I'll put the other end first. Get this out of here. Okay. Both go up at the same time. Try this end first. Boy, that's precise. I wonder if I could use a little help here. So I'm not sure exactly what they do with this. What happens if you try and get it both up at the same time? Boy, that's precise. little too hard. Little bit. And again, be careful on this. This is going directly into the rear roller. Front roller. Sorry about that again. Just a hair more. You know that's close. I can feel it almost grabbing. All right, let me check that real quick. Definitely don't want to lose it, that's for sure. I'm going to snug this side up. Just a hair. Come up just a little bit more. Oh, not that much more. I can see the thread, so I know I'm close. I know I am close. But I think I told you, Landice, you gotta be pretty exact. That is so close. All right, so that looks pretty straight. Let's see. Feels pretty good. All right. So that's all I'm going to do on that for right now. I will tighten it. That's pretty, yeah, I believe that's somewhat loose. So it per se doesn't have a mark, but it is put back to where the little scrape on the frame was. So that'll let us know it's pretty much lined up. All right, so hold on one second. We're gonna go to the back and do the rear roller and finish this bad boy up. I know I probably blocked you. Let's see. So I had a little bit of problem with this bolt right here on the other side. All right. But I got it, so it's good to go. So hang on. All right, so the next stage is we got the deck in, we got the belt on, we got the front roller in. To be honest with you, I'm not sure if I should put the rear roller in or not, so I'm not this time. We're gonna go right to the straight side rails.
You have? Yeah, I've used it before. Here? Then you know it's so you're gonna
line these up right here.
yeah, but you can figure all the way up here.
Okay. Okay.
Bye guys, see you in the morning.
Don't forget
And then you have the night switches too.
screws to the inside are short.
So you're gonna figure like at the bottom to where your heels are.
Screws to the outside
And then your rest of it, you're gonna press
are
it with your
long.
toes. Yep. Your feet are gonna be together. With your toes and then drop it with your toes. Two separate ones. Same thing.
Make sure they're lined up perfectly. I think I told you with Landice, everything's got to be as perfect as it can be. Yeah, look at that. All right, I got to see what that hold up is real quick. Doesn't look like there should be one. Seems to be. No, it's got a hole there. It's just a matter of me being precise enough, huh? Huh. Didn't tell me. Okay. Spinning correctly. Looks like it's line up pretty good. If I can figure it out. All right, let's see what that deal is then. Take that back out. Put this back in. The easy one lines up easy. I have to flip that piece of water out. Let me try something real quick, guys. Hold on. Didn't remember removing this, but I'm pretty sure that's not it. No. Same length of the deck, so it's gotta be lined up with the deck.
Yeah. The lift up part is easy.
Okay.
That one did good.
So that's pretty smoothly. That's because I flipped that block upside down, even though I don't remember moving that little spacer. Well, whether I remember it or not, it looks like that's the ticket. So we're gonna go a couple more. Nope, that's the long one. There's a short one. Alright. Once everything's perfectly lined up, it works perfectly. Apparently that little spacer, I had it reversed, I guess. I don't remember taking it off, but it's fitting perfect now, so has to be. Perfect enough where I'm brave enough to use my drill. Alright, so you don't really need to see that. I will get back with you on the rear roller. Hold on one sec. Alright, so now we're doing the rear roller. I ended up taking this side rail back off because you couldn't really see what I was doing. So what you're going to need to do is these rear rollers have a flat spot on them. You come here, the flat spot, of course, I'll tell you where it is, but you couldn't see that if I had the end cap on, all right? It's also a little easier if you have one, it's not really called an end cap, side rail off to get that rear roller in. And again, everything with Landice is super heavy. So I would recommend bolting one down, and I really wouldn't screw this one down yet, all right? So the rear roller's in. You already know how to put the side rail on. I'm gonna do that again real quick, and then I'll show you how to put the last caps on, and we should be good to go, all right? So can you see that? Where's my knee? See, this front roller has a flat side on it, so it sits a certain way. I don't know if you can see that or not. And I probably messed the whole tape up. I'll have to see what editing I can do. Camera's getting ready to fold. Can you see that flat edge on the bottom? It's round up here and flat on the bottom side. So it kind of sits on this lip right here and slides back and forth, all right? So give me 1 second, let me put the side rail back on, and then we'll do the rear roller adjustment bolts. All right, so now we're back to putting the rear end caps on. I really think it's better to leave one side off to put the rear roller in, that way you can see it as you saw. I've done it the other way, but that was a lot better. So now we're up to this. And this was a 9/16. So remember, this has got two little Phillip heads and they go right into the frame. So again, just be careful with this. I have to pull this roller out just a little bit. And I only want really one or two threads on that. Turn by hand, so that's always a good sign. Okay, so you want to be gentle with everything. And I know it's a big heavy machine, but I'm just gonna get this. Got to pull the roller up just a little bit again. I hope I'm using a flashlight. Okay, so that's just enough tension to hold them in place. Now I'm going to go and put these very gently done machine screws in here. Again, just be real careful with this stuff, because it does go right into the frame. And this is probably a 15-year-old machine, maybe longer. And all the screws are still working. Yeah, so I'm still not brave enough on any of these fragile threads to use my drill or my impact. All right. So that's really about it for that. I don't know if you need to see me do these two over here. I'm going, yeah, it's too much to do. So I'm going to put you on hold. Then the last thing we need to do is these just snap right in here. Then after they snap in, you adjust the rear roller adjustment bolts. So I can't really see where my mark was, so I wasted my time doing the mark. So we're gonna have to walk test this bad boy, all right? So that's it for now. You don't need to see me install those two. Give me 1 sec, I'll be right with you. I'm back. So I put this little caps on. As you noticed on the last part of the video, I started the rear roller adjustment bolts just enough so there's tension on that, because I don't want that to go crooked. It's important that these two Phillips go in nice and straight and smooth. All right, so since I've ruined my theory and didn't count, I'm just gonna guess a little bit. So that feels about right. I'll have to walk test it and make sure. So the last thing we need to do is we need to put the front roller belt on, and we should be good to go after that. All right, so last one, I'll be right with you. So now, all right, so now for the last phase, I got to put this motor belt on. And they do have an adjustment J-bolt underneath here where you can loosen that up. But I'm gonna try and do it without doing that, really. So put the motor belt on the motor side first. Then I'm hoping that I can just roll it right on like that. I don't want to get in your way, but make sure everything's nice and straight. The edge of the belt doesn't stick out either on the roller or the motor end. So that's really about it. That's how you install a deck, flip a deck over and install a walk belt on a Landice L7. I guess I'm gonna turn it on and see how much adjustment I gotta do as far as the belt goes, and I'll let you be part of that too. Thanks a lot. All right, so now I'm gonna adjust this belt. The belt's going too far over to the left side. I'm going to tighten it. Yeah. Might have to turn it off. Might not get to it in time. Yep, hang on. Went too far over on me. Do that. All right, so I turned the machine off so it wouldn't keep going. I turned this side as you saw a couple times. I'm gonna like push walk on it until it gets a little more center. Okay, a little better. It's not rubbing on nothing. Okay. So I think I'm gonna loosen the side just a hair, just to kind of make it come over here more quickly. Yeah. Well, that's the problem with guessing. So now I'm making this roller go in some so that the belt will transfer over to here. Okay, so it's starting to come over now. All right, so now that I got a little more straight, I'm gonna go back and tighten this side. should be able to turn it on now. Hold on one second. All right, so the belt's still too far over to the left. So I'm gonna just tighten this. Turn or two. And basically whatever side the belt's going to, you want to tighten that side and take the slack out of it. It'll kind of force it to go the other way. Just have to have a little patience. But that's getting better and better and better. Still not quite touching my finger on this side. As soon as I get it to touch, see, I haven't adjusted anymore because I'm waiting until it, I guess the term would be walks over. All right. Just a teeny bit more. All right, so I'm gonna do a quick little amp check next. Thanks for viewing this. I'm gonna do an amp test. So this is one, as you saw in this long video, I just flipped the deck, changed the belt, and actually changed the motor controller. So I wanna compare this specs to the specs on his other treadmills that I've done nothing. All right, so I'll be right with you, and we're gonna amp test two different machines so I can let you know, is it even worth changing your deck and belt? Well, in this case, flipping your deck over and changing your belt. All right, thanks a lot for viewing. Don't forget to visit me at Fitness Parts Pro for any supplies or anything you need. That's .com, by the way. And thanks for viewing this video.